So I want to share with you my own recipe on how I regulate my own happiness and peace. Okay. I know that most of us, we want to be happy. We want to we want to be at peace. And to those, those that know me, they know that I value my own peace more than anything. I value my own happiness more than anything. And if I come across anyone or anything that interferes with my peace and happiness, uh, we're gonna have a problem. We're gonna have a problem. And so, but this is my recipe for happiness and peace. It might work for you, it might not. All right. What I've come to discover, and it's a mistake that most of us make, is that we have connected our self identity. We associate our self identity and our self worth to things and people and situations in our lives. All right. What that means is when things are working out for you, you feel a certain way. When they are not, you feel a certain way. When you have something in your life, you feel a certain way. When you don't, you feel a certain way. When you have someone in your life, you feel a certain way. When you don't have anyone in your life, you feel a certain way. So essentially, what that means is your own happiness and peace is determined and controlled by things outside of yourself. Your circumstances control how you feel. Your circumstances control your happiness and peace. And that is a mistake that most of us make. It's a recipe for disaster. If you want to regulate your own peace and happiness, it cannot be dependent upon things and people and situations. Okay? You need to find your own self-worth, your own self-identity. You need to validate yourself within yourself, outside of these things. You should not be controlled by any of these things. Yes, they are important for us to have as part of our existence, but they should not be the ones that determine how we should feel and shouldn't feel in our lives. Okay? So when people want to be happy, they look outside of themselves. They look for things, they look for people. You have a car, you feel happy, you have money, you feel happy. And when you don't have any of these things, then you're not happy. And so the truth is, these things change. They change all the time. You can have money today and a car and everything today. Next moment, you don't. You can be in a relationship and the next moment you are not. Things may go well for you. The next moment, they're not going well for you. And so if your happiness and peace is determined by these things, is dependent by these things, then it means that your happiness will fluctuate. One moment you'll be happy, the next moment you won't be happy because you are controlled by things outside of yourself. And that's not the way to regulate your own happiness. Your own happiness must come from within you. Doesn't matter what happens outside of you, your happiness should be controlled by yourself all the time. And by doing that, you have constant happiness, you have constant peace within yourself. And this is a very powerful and strong position to create a better life for yourself from, as opposed to being sad, frustrated, and miserable. So when you are happy and at peace and calm, you're able to create a better life for yourself. And the way to be at peace and to be happy and to be calm is to be able to control that and to be able to regulate it. And in order for you to do that, you need to do it within yourself and not be controlled by things outside of yourself. If you fail at something, let it be because you failed, not because you're a failure. If you don't have a car, you don't have money or whatever, do something about it. But it should not be a sum total of your character and personality, of who you are. It shouldn't define you. You are your own person outside of these things. You were yourself even before these things. So remain yourself, stay yourself, find your self identity and your self worth within yourself outside of any of these things. And you'll be able to maintain, regular peace, regular happiness, and regular calmness within yourself. So let's separate ourselves from these things. Realize that you are not these things. Separate yourself, disconnect yourself from these things. Do not connect your identity to any of them, because the moment you do that, it means when those things are not there, then you lose your identity. So that's sad. It's very sad that your identity is connected to any of these things outside of yourself, because when you don't have them, then it means you have no identity, you have no self-worth. It means you have no validation without any of these things. So let your own peace and happiness be regulated and originated within yourself, not outside of yourself.